got one thing right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Nayeema and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to today's video. If you noticed something, I'm wearing the same exact outfit as my enemies to lovers video. Sorry, I'm pre-filming today, so if you're wondering why, that is why. But today we have another recommendation video, and that is I want to stay away from you, but I can't. Now, I love this trope so much. I love when they are battling with their thoughts, battling with what they truly want. They want to stay away. They know it's wrong for them, but they physically can't bring themselves to do so. So we are talking about some of my favorite books with this trope in it today. I don't believe I filmed this video before. Let me know if you guys want a part 2. I have tons of more books where this list came from. Yeah, I'm super excited, and without further ado, let's get right into today's video. Okay, so the first book I want to recommend is a book that I read pretty recently and I loved it so much, and that is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. If you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. It is such a great, sentimental, emotional, sweet, intimate romance. Friends to lovers. It follows this girl named Sydney. She just found out that her boyfriend has been cheating on her with her best friend and roommate. Before she found out, she kind of became friends with this guy who lives across the apartment complex from her. He's a musician, so he was out on his balcony just playing his guitar, and she lived directly across, so she'd sit out there and listen to him. As time went on, she's continued to listen to him. She kind of ended up forming her own lyrics for the songs that he was playing, and he's going through kind of like a writer's block where he is having trouble coming up with lyrics. So he asked her to send over the lyrics, and from there kind of a friendship ensues between them. He really needs her help. When she finds out that her boyfriend has been cheating on her with her best friend, he moves her into his apartment. They become really good friends. She's helping him with the music, but there is an attraction there and they want to stay away from each other, but they can't. And the reason why they want to is because our hero has a girlfriend. If you don't like emotional cheating, I wouldn't read this book. But I think it wrapped up so perfectly and so beautifully. I would highly recommend it, but there is cheating in here. There were things that I was like, oh my gosh, they're not about to do that. Okay, they are about to do that. Also, the hero is deaf, and same with his girlfriend. I thought the representation here was pretty good, and I really enjoyed it. And this is perfect for I want to stay away from you, but I can't, because they live in the same apartment now. They want to spend nights up together making music and, like, you know, getting closer, but they both know that he has a girlfriend and they know they shouldn't, but things happen. And it's so good. It's such a good romance, so emotional, and it was really just beautiful. Such a beautiful book to read, and this is a perfect example of I want to stay away from you, but I can't. The next book that I have for this trope is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This is a perfect example of I want to stay away from you, but I can't. I love this book so much. It basically follows our heroine Naomi, and she just ran away from her wedding. She realized that the guy that she's about to marry, she doesn't want to marry him anymore, and she doesn't really have much direction for her life. So when she gets an email or a phone call from her twin sister, estranged because they haven't spoken in years, saying, hey, can you come meet me in this town? I need your help. I'm in danger. Naomi decides to stop everything she's doing and go to her town to go help her sister. She quickly realizes, though, that her twin sister is not quite popular in this small town. Everybody is coming up to Naomi thinking it is her twin sister and just treating her like crap. She's really just like a menace to this small town, and Naomi has to explain to everyone, like, yeah, hi. Naomi has to explain to everyone that it's not her, it's her twin sister that they actually dislike. So after about an hour of her sister being nowhere in sight, she quickly realizes that her sister stole all of her money, stole her car, stole her belongings, and left her 11-year-old daughter with Naomi. Knox, the hero, he's kind of in the background watching all this go down. These two do not get off on the right foot at first, because Knox believes that Naomi is his twin sister and treats her horribly. So Naomi just really has no interest in Knox, but she can't acknowledge how beautiful and gorgeous he is, and Knox also acknowledges his attraction toward Naomi, but he's like, no, I need to stay away from her. She looks like she has fairy tales in her head. She is high maintenance. She is just like, no, like I want to stay away from you. Like, I can't do this right now. But of course, by the name of the trope, he inserts himself into her life, helps her get on her feet, gives her a place to stay. They live literally right next to each other. This book is just so cozy. They live right next door to each other on this like plot of land. Everything is super cottagey and cute and comfy and cozy, and it's just such an amazing book. He is such a grumpy person. It's a great grumpy sunshine as well. Literally is doing all these nice things for Naomi, but like acting all like rough about it, and it's just such a great romance book, such a great story. I just really remember the feeling of being one that just makes me feel so happy and giddy and warm and tingly, so I highly recommend this one. The next book that I really want to recommend is Tristan Six Venom by Penelope Douglas. I read this book when it first came out and I fell in love with it. This is actually the first sapphic romance book that I've ever read, and it was so good. Highly recommend. This is a toxic bully romance. We have a good girl, we have a bad girl. They go to this private school. Yeah, it is just greatness. It is so good. So we have Clay, and Clay is kind of like our popular mean girl. She is not kind at all. And then we have Olivia, who is from the wrong side of town. These two do not like each other. They do not like each other at all. Like, Clay is literally such a mean bully to Olivia, but there's also like attraction there, and like they both know it deep down that they are both attracted to one another. The jealousy in here is amazing. Bully romance aspects, great. Clay is so mean and literally a bully, so this is not for the faint of heart. If you like your couples to be really in love and really just so sweet to each other, this is not the one for you then. But Clay so desperately, honestly I'd say both of them, they both so desperately do not want to be around each other. They don't want to be in each other's space, but they can't help it because of the attraction. I would say on both ends it's I want to stay away from you, but I can't. They both want to. They both know that this would never work out. They both know that like the other person is not who they should be with, but that doesn't stop them. They feel this pull to one another and they're going to explore it secretly, and it's great. It is such a toxic romance, which I love. This is amazing and I highly recommend it. The next book that I really want to recommend is Sinner by Sierra Simone. This is a book that I read recently and just fell in love with it. So this book follows Sean Bell, and Sean Bell really has lived life pretty selfishly. He cares about money, he cares about business, he cares about girls. All he really wants out of life until he meets Zenny. He doesn't know it yet, but Zenny is his best friend's little sister. So one night they meet very early off in the book and they talk for a little bit. There's clearly attraction there. So they go off their separate ways until they are brought back into each other's lives due to his work and her work as well, and he finds out that the girl that he was talking to and the girl that he's so attracted to is actually his best friend's little sister, and she has a proposition for him. She wants him to teach her about all things sexual before she becomes a nun. His reasons why he can't do this is because she is so much younger than him. He's like 30 something and then she's just turned 21. She's about to become a nun, and obviously it is his best friend's little sister, so he really wants to stay away from her. But we all know where this goes. He can't stay away from her, especially like she's the most beautiful girl that he's ever seen ever. Like, this is just, she is just so kind and wholesome and pure, and you know, I go feral for virgin heroines. I don't know why. It's just so entertaining to me. So this is a really great, I want to stay away from you but I can't. It's forbidden as well. Like, his best friend can't know. Their families actually had a little bit of a spat a few years ago, and it's just really forbidden. He knows, not even just in the back of his mind, but in the forefront of his mind, that he should not be doing this. And it's great and it's so good. And even although while I describe this book it does sound like it would be like it's just a super smutty book, don't get me wrong, it is super smutty, but it is incredibly emotional and real. I cried. It was such an amazing book. I thought it was written so beautifully, and just, it really had an impact on me, okay? It did. So I recommend it. And the last and final book that I am recommending for today's video is one of my favorites from 2021. It is so good. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. This is my favorite Mariana Zapata, one of my favorite books ever, and I highly recommend if you want obviously a slow burn, long book, torturous book of I want to stay away from you, but I can't. This is the book to do it. So this book follows the heroine Aurora, and she is currently going through a heartbreak. Just left like a horrible relationship. She really has no direction in her life. She has no idea what she wants to do. She is kind of just lost. So she decides to drive back to her hometown. It's a small town in the mountains, and she has not been there since her mother passed away. She finds an Airbnb listing online, and she decides to take it and stay there for, I can't remember, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months, but she decides to take it. She gets there and quickly realizes that this was not supposed to be listed. So basically the hero, his son, his 16-year-old son, decided to list their garage apartment on Airbnb without his father knowing. So they get off on not the right foot at first, because he is like, you know, like a gruff mountain man, doesn't like strangers, is a very private person. He doesn't want anybody living in his garage apartment, but she's in a bind. She begs him to stay, and he reluctantly agrees. He does not like her. He wants nothing to do with her and her business here. So it starts off rocky, obviously. He just keeps finding reasons to insert himself into Aurora's life. She'll go out on a date and he'll be outside waiting and be like, don't do that again, you know, that kind of energy. Or he's just always there. He's always inserting himself. He wants to stay away from her, but he physically can't, and it's an age gap. That's one of the reasons why he wants to stay away, because he's like, is this even like morally correct? Like, can I even be doing this? Great romance. It makes me so happy, and it's so swoony. This is by far one of my favorites, and really established my love for small town romances. And I think it's both kind of, I want to stay away from you, but I can't, because Aurora wants to stay away from him just as much as him. She was like, he is a father, he is an older man, like there's no reason for me to be up in his business. There is attraction there is chemistry, but they don't really want to act on it, and it's very clear because it's a Mariana Zapata. So literally right here, right there, that's where they mess with each other and get together. So it's great. It's a great slow burn romance. I highly recommend. I feel like it's just such a cozy book. This felt so comforting to me for some reason. I just love small town, snowy. It's just great vibes. So that was the last book that I am recommending today for I Want to Stay Away From You, but I can't. I love this trope so much. Let me know your favorite books that have this trope. I'd love to pick them up and add them to my TBR and discuss with you guys. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And I will see you very shortly with a new video. Bye!
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.